People that make everything we do possible. Uh, Let us please show on screen our special partner institutions, senior special partner institutions, corporate members, and individual members, all of which without whom we would not be here today. The Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation is a member-supported nonprofit organization, and it's only through your generosity and support that we are able to bring you all of our knowledge sessions every week and to keep us running in the pursuit of poverty alleviation through job creation. Once again, I am your president, Julius Barcelona. It's very nice to see everybody bright and early this morning. And today, our theme is about collaboration. We're very happy to have our speaker join us this morning to talk about how we might be able to work together in the furtherance of our mission and vision, of our respective missions and visions. But in any case, we hope that today's session will bring you a lot of value. If you're joining us this morning, welcome and good morning. If you are joining us 2 weeks later through our social media uploads, wherever in the world you are, we hope you're having a good day. If you are working in organizations, civic organizations, other nonprofits, non-government organizations that are trying to figure out ways to improve, to reduce rural poverty through job creation or in agribusiness development. If you are people who work together with an extensive network of such organizations, perhaps you have some opinions or thoughts about our session today. You can leave your questions, your comments, or share your own experience in the comments below. We'd be very, very happy to hear from you. And as I've mentioned, our foundation is a nonprofit member-supported organization. If we have brought you value in any way, if you'd like to engage our speakers in our live sessions through Zoom, or if you'd like to gain access to our wide network of agribusiness and countryside development organizations, do consider joining us as a member. It is through your support we're able to do what we do. Our links are in the description. You can send us an email. We'd be very happy to have you on board. All right, so now I'd like to ask our chairman, Ernie Ordonez, to please introduce our speaker for this morning. Ernie, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. It's our privilege and honor and actual delight that we have the country director, I repeat, country director for the whole Philippines, of the Philippine Partnership for Sustainable Agriculture, right down our alley. Basically, I've read and know about her work. It's really great we have her here. Let me tell you a bit about her, but I'd like to tell her now that what we do is we have the speaker give 5 to 10 minutes to a personal connection with the audience and her about how she got to where she is, why she chose this path in terms of charting her life journey. And when we do that, we have personal connection. And we'd like to inform you that we usually talk to the speaker after the forum to do follow-up work because, as our departed chair, Ramon de Losorio, said, our job here is not just to share knowledge, but to alleviate poverty using the knowledge that we have here to connect. And I think your topics right down the alley about partnership. And I know you partner not just with the private sector organization, but with government as well. I'd like to let you know that she's had 30 years of experience in hospitality and agribusiness. How interesting, because agribusiness now has a lot of agritourism projects, etc. And of course, the idea is to have agribusiness produce as many jobs as possible, including hospitality. She was one of the key people in the corporate affairs group of Nestlé Philippines before her current life here as heading the Partnership for Sustainable Development. She actually led a global plan. I read it was called the Nestlé's Nescafé plan, which was a global thing. She led it. And in 2019, which is 5 years ago, she was identified as a Nestlé woman mover. And it's interesting, there was an interesting about bias. Maybe you should tell us something about that. I'd like to, inform you that she will do a few things before she starts, right? The first thing is she'll give us her contact number, office or cell, because around the world, instead of going through bureaucracy, you can go straight to her. And I just want to let her know there will be terribly few crank calls, so it's already your number. Secondly, we'll tell her to give us 5 to 10 minutes about why she's passionate about this. What did she do when she was a kid that she got into this? 5 to 10, we have a personal connection, right? So the first one's number connection, second, the personal connection. And third, most important, is what we can do to pursue the vision you're committed to, because we want to be like you. When we grow up, we want to be like you, really effective in partnering and helping others through our connections and network, etc. So let's start with the phone number. Then please proceed with your 5 to 10 minute background. And then in your speech or after your speech, tell us how we, your audience around the world, can contribute. Of course, it's more directly for the people here, but around the world, they could share technologies, whatever it is, because after all, you're the country director for this worldwide organization, the Philippine Partnership for Sustainable Agriculture. So we're delighted to have you, Angel. You're an angel coming to us, giving us a lot of contacts and spreading some good stuff. But we want to measure ourselves, Angel, not just in terms of having forums, but in terms of what we do after the forum. And we could have examples of that. We also have the privilege of being connected now in the only legislated body, I believe, in the government, which is the Philippine Council for Agriculture and Fisheries. It's legislated, and we were elected, the Agribusiness Foundation is represented there. We were elected as a chair of the International Trade Committee. So what we do in agriculture, we hope to expand, because if we rely only on domestic, we cannot give as many jobs. So we want to expand those jobs. So with your help, we can do that. So the floor is now, Angel. Please go ahead and give us what you have. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, Sir Ernie. Thank you very much for that briefing and for introducing me to the audience. I understand we are, I think, almost 1,500. And
1,489 according to Jews every month. We have that audience, yes.
Yes, to be exact, 1489. So good morning again, everyone. Good morning to the audience here in the Philippines, and good morning to the others who are in the other parts of the world. As mentioned by Julius, let's have a vibrant discussion this morning. It's rainy here in Manila, but we can heat up the morning. I hope you have your coffee, and we will have discussions that will warm us up and start our day properly today. So happy Tuesday to everybody. And as Sir Ernie has mentioned, I am Angel Bautista. I am the country director of the Philippines Partnership for Sustainable Agriculture. It is a pleasure for me to be invited by ABCD MAP this morning for the 18th online session this 2024. And this is all about civil society partnerships for agriculture. So as a start, as mentioned by Sir Ernie, I would like to share my contact number. It's +63 917 840 1619. So again, 63 917 840 1619. And then, so now I would like to talk a little about myself. So to give you a history, my background is actually Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management. So you might be wondering why or how I was able to reach where I am now or get to the sector where I am now. So that will be what I will be sharing now. So after graduating from the St. Scholastica's College in Manila, I did my internship at the EDSA Shangri-La Hotel. And then after my practicum there, right after they offered me a job to be a food and beverage clerk. And then, so I was, after the food and beverage, I was transferred to Human Resources to be the confidential secretary of the country director for HR. So that the country director manages all the Philippine properties of Shangri-La Hotels and Resorts. And then after that, I transferred to Makati Shangri-La. So I was with EDSA Shangri-La since 93 until 2001. And then from 2001 to 2010, I was with Makati Shangri-La. Always working with the executive office, meaning with the general manager or the hotel manager or the resident manager of the hotel. And then I was pirated by Nestlé Philippines after the 17 years of Shangri-La stint. I decided to make a shift in terms of industry. So I was pirated by Nestlé Philippines Incorporated to be the admin assistant of the CEO. And then I stayed in that role for 2 years.
Admin assistant.
And then I agreed with my boss that yes, I see myself retiring in the company, but I said hopefully not in the same position that I took on when I got onboarded. So when there was an opportunity for me to transfer to the corporate affairs department of Nestle, I was given the task to handle the smallholder farmer programs of Nestle Philippines under the program Nescafé plan. So this is their coffee growing advocacy. So I was always out in the field, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, but mostly Mindanao, working with our agri-services department, and of course being with smallholder farmers, particularly in Bukidnon and in Sultan Kudarat as well. So there was a lot of field work involved there. And then after 13 years with Nestle, I decided to again make a change in my life, because when I decided on changing careers or industry, I was at my 40s. So I said if I had to make that change, I had to do it right away, because I am not, of course, getting any younger. So now I have been with the Philippines Partnership for Sustainable Agriculture for only almost a year. To be exact, on August 15, I will be 1 year with PPSA. So that's the history of my career since 1993 until 2024. I just want to emphasize that, if there is something that I'm really proud of, it's really, I can say that I worked myself up the ladder, as shared earlier. I started as a clerk and then worked my way up. So, and it's really beneficial, because I feel that, if you know the crux of the job, then you'll be able to help or support whoever needs your help, because you know the nitty-gritty of the tasks that are involved in the positions as you work your way up, no? But yes, I think those 31 years of experience, I hope, has given me enough wisdom and knowledge that I can share with all of you this morning. And of course, as Julius and Sir Ernie has rightly put it, let's not stop with sharing the knowledge, but let's look at tangible actions that can help alleviate poverty. So at this point, maybe I would like to share to establish that personal connection, why I chose this path. I feel that when I started working on the Nescafé plan, I really found where my, my passion or my heart is. Every day, sabi nga natin, we have that Nescafé, para kanino ka bumabangon. It's like, what is your motivator or your reason for getting up every day and doing what you are doing? I felt that I had a very big responsibility or role that I can play in helping the smallholder farmers, the coffee farmers in particular, that Nestle was assisting or are assisting. And I felt that there is no stopping because the farmers will always need help. So I said that there's a lot to do. It will never end. And, the feeling of gratitude that you hear, see, feel from the farmers, that's what really drove me to work on the Nescafé plan for the 13 years. And it's always that relationship, friendship that I look back on whenever I remember all those fieldworks, the hardships, even the risks involved. But I said, I feel it's all worth it. I believe it's all worth it. If you are able to just affect even just one life of a smallholder farmer, I feel that, I have contributed. But of course, we want to be able to help as much as we can, but we can only do so much. So being able to affect maybe 1, 2, 3 lives, but you know that you really made a very big impact, a meaningful impact, that for me is enough. The fact that they still up to now, even if I'm not connected with Nestle anymore, stay in touch means a lot to me. I must share with you that, I had a boss who asked me, Nestle, Angel, what is it that you do that you can tell me that no one else can do, that, if I look for a replacement, that person cannot do it. And that was always my top of mind. I said, it's the relationship that you build with your stakeholders, because it's something that you cannot establish in a flick of a finger. It's something that needs time. It's something that you have to build through the years, and you have to have that trust, sincerity. You have to establish that, and it doesn't happen overnight. So I think that's the gist of what I wanted to share with you, that, it takes time, it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of hard work for us to be able to really make an impact to those who we want to help. So let's not get tired, let's not stop, because yes, there will always be members of our community who will be needing our help. So Ernie, is that something that you are okay with, or would you like me to expound more?
No, exactly. I mean, we like your journey. Your journey was from the bottom to the top, and of course, assisting always the CEO. The big picture and the small picture, and the fact that your heart took you to development, right? In addition to serving good food in Makati, Shangri-La, you are working with poor farmers in Nestle. I know that very well. So thank you very much. Please proceed your presentation. I like the fact that you want us to really act, and hopefully after you talk, we will act based on what you suggest. Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you. So, as mentioned, the title of my presentation this morning is Civil Society Partnerships for Agriculture. And on the next slide, I would like to introduce to you the Philippines Partnership for Sustainable Agriculture. So what we are a multi-stakeholder platform. So when we say this means that we get together people and organizations to work together towards transforming agri-food systems to become inclusive, resilient, and sustainable. So even though the Philippines Partnership for Sustainable Agriculture is a multi-stakeholder platform, we are also a membership-based organization. So we have core members supporting the PPSA financially through membership fees. And we have members that are startups. So if you will see on the lower right, the logos. So we have their AgBeam, we have Anitech, and we also have foundations like the Jollibee Group Foundation. Of course, we have the Agrea Foundation led by Miss Cherry Atilano, very famous personality in the agri and development sector. We also have NGOs like PPSA. We have MIDA Philippines, and we also have agribusinesses like Cargill, Nestlé, and Unilever, and Morination in our member companies. I'd like to also share with you that another company has joined us very recently, and it's called Kita PH. They are the ones who are digitizing the trading posts of the Department of Agriculture. So their logo is not yet here, but if we include them, we have 21 member companies all in all under the Philippines Partnership for Sustainable Agriculture. So this is really a mix of different types of organizations coming from different sectors. So aside from the core members, we also have partners. We have 160 partner organizations that we engage with. So you might ask how? It's through our communities of practice or our working groups. So membership to PPSA is not a requirement actually, but if you want to be part of the network, you can join our engagement activities, our communities of practice, and our working groups. At the moment, we have 9 working groups, namely rice, corn, coffee, vegetables, coconut, agri-finance, and the Learning Alliance, which is focused on research, digital agriculture, and fisheries. So those are our 9 working groups. And through the activities of the PPSA network, we were able to reach around 120,000 farmers through our value chain projects, learning events, and other engagements. On the next slide. So these are the work streams or the strategies of the PPSA. So first, we have Grow Together for project partnerships. So this is all about the multi-stakeholder collaborations. I'd like to give you an example. We have the Farmers Grow project, where we aim to have collective impact from different organizations, promoting inclusive business with agribusinesses we are working with. So for the Farmers Grow, I'm very delighted to share that Harvest Agribusiness Corporation is part of this, together with Nestlé. And we also have other input companies who are part of this. So the aim is to be able to come up with a mix of organic and inorganic fertilization that the smallholder coffee farmers in Mindanao can utilize to be able to improve their productivity, and thus improve also or increase their income, so that we can somehow uplift their quality of life. So this is all about the Grow Together. It's all about synergies of partners. And then it's all towards the adoption of inclusive value chain models and sustainable innovations for agriculture. Next one is the Grow Better. So it's all about knowledge and learning, like what the session that we are having this morning with ABCD and MAP. So PPSA promotes knowledge and learning initiatives of our different organizations. This is where our usapan sessions or our learning sessions fall under. We have learning sessions either online or face-to-face. Later, I will be talking a little bit more about those learning sessions and inviting you as well towards the end of my presentation to our upcoming usapan sessions and what the topics are. So here, PPSA is able to organize and facilitate knowledge management programs to build capacities of our partners. So a lot of our audience during these online learning sessions are smallholders, and we want to promote increased assistance to these smallholder farmers and fishers through our network of members and partners. And then we have the Grow Agri. So this is all about policy environment in agri-investment. So here, PPSA supports dialogues and discussions that would help improve policies. For example, PPSA helped facilitate a workshop on developing, reviewing, and then improving the Inclusive Business Bill. So here, PPSA brought in the private sector to the workshop so that the private sector can be heard, they can give their inputs and insights to the proposed Inclusive Business Bill then. So for Grow Agri, it's all about facilitating action-oriented dialogues with policymakers and public-private stakeholders for enhancement of policies and plans towards increased and responsible investments in agriculture. All right. So on the next slide, here you will see that how PPSA does its role of being a multi-stakeholder platform through its working groups and communities of practice. We convene to share best practices and explore possible collaborations. Hopefully, after this session, there will be at least one partnership or collaboration that will result from this knowledge sharing. And then we can promote complementation of efforts. We do not want duplication of efforts because what we want to be able to do is really fulfill the needs of those in the value chain. So from end to end, from before we start production until the consumption. So an example of this best practices and collabs is the Living Income Network Circle that PPSA has with the FoodLink Advocacy Cooperative and CIRO and ASHAR. So you here in the slide, you will see that we have the listing of the working groups that we have, if in case you missed it when I enumerated them earlier. And what we really do here is to collaborate on projects and solutions for the benefit of smallholder farmers and, of course, the agriculture sector in the Philippines in general. And then we also go outside of the Philippines. I'd like to share with you that Grow Asia is the mother organization of PPSA. PPSA is actually a country chapter of Grow Asia. Grow Asia is catalyzed by the World Economic Forum, and it's recognized by the ASEAN Secretariat. And then from Grow Asia, they were the ones who catalyzed PPSA together with the Department of Agriculture, who is our public sector co-chair. And then for our private sector co-chair, we have East West Seed under the leadership of Dr. Mary Ann P. Sayok. So that's giving you a little more background on PPSA and our mother organization, Grow Asia. So the projects or the programs that PPSA and Grow Asia has does not only happen here in the Philippines. The other country chapters also work on those regional programs. We have the country chapter in Cambodia, in Vietnam, in Papua New Guinea, Indonesia, and of course, the Philippines. So the focus of these programs are on women's economic empowerment. We also have agri-food innovation, climate resilience, and responsible investing. All right, so for the next slide. So what we want to be are partners for agri-food systems transformation. So civil society organizations are crucial partners in transforming agri-food systems to become efficient, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable. I know these are big words, and these are commonly said and commonly heard, but really, I hope that as encouraged by Sir Ernie earlier, we can find ourselves working on tangible actions that can really help the farmers and fishers in our respective countries. As we said, this is being attended now by participants worldwide. So these CSOs, these partners, bring in a lot of technical knowledge and also advocate for the marginalized communities. We work with the ones who have strong presence in the field because this is the only way that we will really know and identify and address the problems or the challenges that are being encountered by the communities at the ground level. And then making ourselves partners in the agri-food systems transformation, helping each other, collaborating so that we are able to make an meaningful impact, and successful partnerships and collaborations. All right, so for the next slide, so civil society organizations work towards sustainable agriculture, gender equality, and climate resilience. So for this slide, you will see as a very specific example of an initiative by Agriterra and East West Seed Philippines. So to strengthen their position in cooperatives in rural areas and their value chain, these two companies organized a female leadership training for agricultural cooperatives to increase the women's knowledge and improve skills on leadership, gender, and diversity. This training was attended by 6 agri-cooperatives of East West Seed, serving as a local resource organization under the USAID project funded by generating rural opportunities by working with cooperatives. So Grow Co-op, which is USAID funded. And then it's implemented by Agriterra. Another example is on the Gulayamanan of East West Seed, which seeks to promote food security through the establishment and maintenance of cluster vegetable gardens that will increase access and consumption of vegetables and, of course, create additional income opportunities for the community. So there are 3 sites, Gulayamanan sites, Tacloban, Batangas, and Bulacan. So this is very appropriate to share right now because July is Nutrition Month. And of course, vegetables play a very important and big role in the provision of nutritious and delicious food to Filipinos and all the, of course, all the rest of the world. In the next slide, we have another example of a strategy for effective collaboration. Miss Vivian. All right. So this one is during the El Nino Forum of Agrea Foundation. And this is in partnership actually with the Oxfam Philippines. And here what we did was to get together those youth organizations who work towards actually not responding to El Nino, but actually being proactive and mitigating the effects of El Nino. Because as you all know, 2024 was predicted to really be an El Nino season, no? So we were able to educate a lot of our partners then in the session. So in this slide as well, you will see the learning sessions and the focus of the projects of PPSA. So here we have our collaborations on project partnerships, learning sessions, linkaging and partnership building, policy dialogues, and advocacy campaigns through our communication channels. So you might be wondering, what are the communication channels of PPSA? We have, of course, our website. You can visit that. And in my last slide later, you will see the website of PPSA. Of course, we also have our Facebook page, which we just officially launched last year. And then we also have our LinkedIn and our Twitter. And then, so for this, on the next slide, you will see the El Nino Forum. Yes. So to talk about more of on that El Nino Forum, it was with Oxfam Philippines, PPSA, and of course Agria Foundation. So the theme was all about capacitating readiness and awareness among CSOs, youth groups, women's associations, and LGUs in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. It was all about El Nino 2024 awareness, and it capacitated the youth, the women, and the LGUs on measures to address and minimize effects of El Nino, specifically in the agri sector. They also shared amongst themselves the best practices and insights of CSOs, of CAOs, and of course the municipal agriculture offices to address El Nino. And then for the next slide, all right. So how do successful partnerships happen? So I will be sharing with you, this is like a laundry list of how to make a partnership successful. So here you will, in this photo, you will see an example, which is our training of trainers under the Agree project of PPSA. Agree stands for, Agree is actually it's an acronym, and it's where the Agree project, we capacitated farmers on the effects of climate change, and we also taught them what the effects of climate change are on their business or farm operations, and how they can combat the effects of climate change. So again, I'm very happy to share that Harvest was a part of the resource persons for this one, together with other members of PPSA like Nestlé, East West Seed Foundation. We also tapped government here through the Department of Agriculture, Agricultural Credit Policy Council. And we also tapped academe, specifically the Isabela State University. And of course, also PPSA members, Smart Communications Incorporated, joined us here. So we had a total of 12 partner organizations who trained the farmers, 32 actually to be specific, women corn farmer leaders from regions 2 and 10 on climate smart agriculture practices. For example, integrated nutrient management, integrated pest management, and of course, agripreneurship. So through the cascading efforts of these 32 women corn farmer leaders, we want to be able to indirectly impact 100 corn farmers in their in those two areas, in Bukidnon and in Cagayan. So those 12 partners organizations that we mobilized developed and conducted the pilot training of trainers. So we would like to be able to not stop after the TOT. So we have actually plans already for a follow-through, so that we can provide the resources and more knowledge to these farmers so that they can adopt and really hopefully scale up the learnings that they were able to gather from the training of trainers. And also another thing that I'm delighted to share is the full support that Harvest is giving to this initiative of PPSA, because one of the topics that Harvest shared during the TOT is on water management techniques. and Julius has generously provided actually 2 drip irrigation kits to model farms in North Luzon. And he also has expressed intent already to also help or develop or establish this drip irrigation model farms in Bukidnon as well. So thank you again to Julius and to the whole Harvest Agribusiness Corporation team for your support on this one. So going back to the successful partnerships. So first of all, what is needed is a needs assessment. So this has to be conducted so that we can comprehend the challenges, what are the local agricultural practices, and what are the socio-economic conditions in the area. So why do we need to do this? To ensure that the interventions are tailored to the actual needs of the community, demonstrating careful planning. So this is where you will see that you really have to study first and plan carefully so that you are able to, again, at the end of the day, what we want to do is really provide what the farmers really need and not just, hit the KPI of distribution of, for example, seedlings or equipment. What we want to do is provide what will really help them in their farm or in their business, agribusiness operations. And then next is shared goals and complementation of efforts for scaled impact. So here we are saying that we do not want duplication of efforts. We see a lot of that happening. There are a lot of initiatives from both from private and public that are duplicating efforts, and I feel that I'm sure you agree with me that it's like it's a wastage of efforts, of time, of resources. So it's very important that we complement and not duplicate. All right, on the next slide, apart from needs assessment and complementation of efforts and shared goals, successful partnerships happen through, Ms. Vivian, community involvement. So decision-making and implementation has to happen together with the members of the community. You cannot come in and decide for them and just implement. You have to really hold consultation sessions, focus group discussions, key informant interviews, and really immerse into the community to really understand what the situation there is. And of course, once you have identified where or the areas that you want to intervene, then you will have to set your KPIs, your key performance indicators. And then once you have set that, here comes the monitoring and evaluation tools, because what is important is you're able to measure your impact. Otherwise, you will not have something to talk about and share as your pilot or your proof of concept that when you do this, it really works. So it's very important that you test something out. And then once you see it successful, then you talk about it, communicate it, because this is how we are able to share with others, and so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's something that can be copy pasted. It's a best practice, and it makes everyone's lives easier when you already have this proof of concept that is ready to be scaled up, replicated, and adapted. And then regular assessments after you've done your first monitoring and evaluation. Of course, you have to do that on a regular basis so that you can adjust accordingly. And then if not yet identified who is accountable for what, then you ensure accountability. And then you promote the knowledge and best practices sharing with similar projects and organizations to encourage learning and replicability, as mentioned earlier. All right, so those are what makes successful partnerships work. So just to recap, needs assessment, shared goals and complementation of efforts, community involvement, monitoring and evaluation tools, and regular assessments. Now, what are the challenges and solutions that CSOs encounter? Next slide, please, Ms. Vivian. All right. So there is, of course, across everyone's fields, there is difficulty in securing sufficient funding and resources for activities or projects. And this is where what I mentioned earlier about resources not being put to waste by allocating them for capacity building programs for CSOs to enhance engagement. So even small grants or seed funding goes a long way. When you combine all these small grants or seed fundings, of course, we hope to be able to use them to make impact to the communities where we operate. And then another challenge and solution for that is the complex bureaucratic procedures. Ms. Vivian, next slide, please. When attempting to collaborate, which can be time consuming and demotivating. So here, I'm sure a lot of us can relate. Later in the latter part of my sharing, you will be able to also share with me and the rest of the audience if you have encountered any of this. And of course, we also don't want to only delve on the not so nice side of it, but we want to be able to also share on the successes of partnerships and collaborations that you had with experience during your interventions in the development sector. So what is the solution for this is to simplify and streamline administrative processes to facilitate collaboration and smoother interactions. I know this is easier said than done. I know, but I also know that a lot of our government agencies are striving to do this, especially the ones who offer credit access to farmers. They really have exerted efforts to simplify the forms. They have gone down to just one pagers, and they have also reduced the documentary requirements that they ask from the loaners, and they also go to the extent of really hand holding in terms of trainings on how to formulate business plans, how to make budgets for their businesses. So I'm talking here about specifically about the Agricultural Credit Policy Council of the Department of Agriculture. So another challenge on the next slide is the inadequate consideration of inputs in policy and decision-making processes. So this is where I mentioned earlier that it's very important to, of course, also for the government to get the private sector inputs. And this is where PPSA plays a role when we are asked by these government agencies when they have dialogues to bring in the private sector. So the solution that we see here is to conduct regular consultations, establish advisory committees, or form partnerships for joint research and projects. I'm sure a lot of us here have sharings in terms of partnerships for joint research and projects. For this one, for PPSA, research and is led by the CIRCA, Southeast Asian Research Center for Agriculture, that is based in UP Las Bañas. They lead our Learning Alliance working group. All right, so what now are the roles of CSOs in Philippine agriculture in the next slide? So we can say that CSOs are catalysts for change. So this is something that, not everyone has the privilege or opportunity to do. And what we want to do is, since we are here, we are privileged to be change agents, right? We want to be able to maximize that opportunity in our spheres of influence, and because this is something that is a very unique position to be in. It's a privilege to be able to help society and bridge the gap between farmers and policy makers. So the grassroots presence of CSOs and their active involvement enable CSOs to pinpoint what are the most critical issues faced by farmers and farmer groups. There are emerging opportunities for CSOs to contribute to sustainable agriculture. I will be giving you enumerating some of them. So one of which is the provision of zero interest loans to improve productivity. Another thing that I'm happy to share is we've seen this in the government agencies providing access to credit, that they really offer zero interest loans to farmers. I've experienced this during my stint with Nestlé, wherein coffee farmer groups in Bukidnon were able to avail of loans from the lending conduits of the ACPC, and they use this for their coffee buying ventures. And then another opportunity for CSOs to contribute to sustainable agriculture is to register farmer groups. Of course, we want to be able to work with not individual farmers, but of course, farmer groups, associations, cooperatives, so that they are able to leverage on their being together in terms of selling, buying, availing of loans, availing of government programs, and they are able to leverage, especially when they sell their produce to institutional buyers, because there is economies of scale there. And then another area where CSOs can contribute to sustainable agriculture is through the promotion of sustainable farming practices. So it's very important to educate on sustainable farming practices like cover cropping, the reduced use of chemical fertilizers and prevention of soil erosion, crop diversification, the planting of drought-tolerant crops such as cassava to be resilient, and then also water conservation and agroforestry. So these are the areas of agriculture now, what we call regenerative agriculture. So this is something very important, because if we do not take care of our soil now, if we do not conserve our water now, if we do not promote biodiversity now, there will be no farming lands that future generations can work on to be able to produce food for everyone.
Excuse me, Angel, excuse me, Mr. President, I'd like to have a point of order, because our exposure to the whole world is limited to 1 hour. No? We have 3 minutes left. So
Yes, I'll be fast, Sir Ernie.
excuse me. We'd like our speaker to wrap up. Maybe we can extend it a bit. And then after she wraps up, for people around the world, we actually have an hour extra, but it's not broadcast to all, where we discuss action plans. So, Mr. President, with your permission, I'll ask Angel to wrap up in 5 minutes.
All right.
We know very well that the next hour is extremely important, but it's no longer broadcast. But we have to end this because for worldwide exposure, we want Angel to wrap it up so that they get the complete picture. Is that okay, Mr.
Okay.
President?
Julius, is
Okay.
that fine?
Well,
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
that's okay. All right. So can you please wrap up? And of course, we'll have a very interesting session for the hour after that. Thank you very much, Angel. Let me just say
Thank
that
you.
it's a fantastic thing what you've given us, and we'll have very fruitful meeting after this, after the worldwide broadcast of this talk. Thank you.
Okay. So I will just be finishing off these emerging opportunities for CSOs to contribute to sustainable agriculture. In the list also is preparation for climate change challenges, home gardening to contribute to food security at household level. And then we also have community engagement and advocacy for policy change, also joint research, collecting and analyzing climate-related data, and developing and disseminating educational materials and campaigns to raise awareness about climate change and its impacts on food security and poverty. So those are the ones in the list. And so here actually is the part where we will do later, how do we build impactful partnerships? So it's very important that we have long-term commitment and engagement to ensure lasting impact and foster strong relationships within the community. And here, as mentioned earlier, I wanted to have a sharing with the audience on any memorable collaborations that you had with CSOs that you can share with us and tell us about. And why should we work together? So when CSOs work together, We combine our unique strengths and resources, and we are able to address the complex challenges posed by climate change and its impact on food security, poverty alleviation, and sustainable development. So from advocating for policies to engaging in grassroots efforts, through our shared influence, we can do our part in addressing these pressing issues. So here you will see the website of PPSA. It's www.ppsa-ph.org. Please visit that one. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can email secretariat@ppsa-ph.org. And I've also given my mobile number at the start of this session. But again, it's 63917-840-1619. So by finding ways to work together, we can empower our smallholder farmers. So that's it, Sir Ernie. I hope I was able to wrap up during the very short time that you have allocated for me to wrap up. And we can go to the other meaty part of this morning session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, medyo sometimes mahirap, ang dami namin. There's so many things that we'd like to share, but of course that's also what the informal session will be about. We have a lot of other I suppose we can call them CSOs as well, who are members of the foundation, and I'm pretty sure people will want to share their work and how PPSA and ABCD Foundation with our members can try to work together as well. Okay, but yes, as our chairman has said, currently in the Philippines it is 9:01, and unfortunately that is the extent of what can be the extent of what we will upload online. So for those of you who are joining us through our social media uploads 2 weeks later, unfortunately this is the extent of what you can get for free.
Mr. President, before we close, I want the world to know that this is one of the best best sessions we've had, and I want to repeat her numbers: +63-917-840-1619. We have a very important session after this, but it's not recorded. So for those who want to communicate to her, please call her, and you can also call us if you wish for more.
Again, please, telephone number.
+63-917-840-1619.
Thank you.
And the next hour will be very, very fruitful, but unfortunately, it won't be uploaded. Okay, but you can contact her or us for follow-up. Thank you, Julius.
Okay, sige. So in any case, first of all, let's flash our certificate of appreciation for Angel. The Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation, in partnership with the Management Association of the Philippines, together with all of our members, our special partner institutions, senior special partner institutions, corporate members, and individual members, all present this certificate of appreciation to Angel Bautista for her invaluable support in the advocacy and promotion of agribusiness and countryside development, and for her commendable and unselfish services rendered to this foundation as our resource speaker, given on our 18th weekly online meeting of 2024, this 23rd day of July 2024 in Makati City, Philippines. It will be Phil Seed. So also a nonprofit. This is also CSO, Angel, and PPSA. You might be interested in joining this. They're working on a model for cacao farm rehabilitation. So so basically, they're looking at abandoned cacao farms in Zamboanga, Sibugay, and they've been working together with the farmers to rehabilitate them and then try to create the whole value chain from start to finish. So for a lot of our members who are engaged in similar activities, this one is a full model. The project is not yet done. They're still in the middle of it, but they already have some success bringing the farmers who are working who have abandoned cacao farms almost to over the poverty line in above the poverty line in Zamboanga, Sibugay. So I'm sure this will be an excellent presentation for our members, and we hope that you'll be able to join us. That will be on August 6th. That's 2 weeks from now, same time, Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then our informal session will be at 10. If you are joining us this morning, please stay on. We will have our informal session coming after this, where I'm sure the discussion will be much livelier, especially once we can get to the meat of things and the details of different projects that PPSA has worked on, things that we worked on. Yes. However, if you are joining us online through our social media uploads, I'm very sorry. This is the limit of what you can get for free. And we're really happy to have you here. Again, as I've mentioned, if you are working with civil society organizations, nonprofits, non-government organizations, or other organizations that are working for poverty alleviation through agribusiness and countryside development, leave us a comment. Let us know what you do, maybe questions that you might have for our speaker, things that you'd like to know. And we hope that the session has brought you a lot of value. If you are interested in gaining more value, do consider joining us as a member. Again, the Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation is in partnership with the Management Association of the Philippines. And we are only here because of your generosity and support. We would very love to have you on board as a member. Our links are in the description. You can send us an email, introduce yourself. And well, we hope to hear from you soon. Otherwise, we hope to see you again in our next session. We'll be uploading that. That will be on Cacao Rehabilitation, and we hope that will bring you value as well. In any case, we will see you next time, and have a great day. Bye-bye.